Welcome to Holly's Racing Fantasy. This is your hotspot for weekly NASCAR Cup Series race recaps, latest news, and of course, fantasy picks for the upcoming race. And now, here's your host and the voice of Holly's Racing Fantasy.
Okay, well, that is the end of the regular season for the NASCAR Cup Series.
Wow.
2024.
That is crazy.
And who got in at the last minute?
Oh.
Chase Briscoe.
Not Chase Elliott.
Not Chase Elliott.
There's a new Chase in town.
There's a new Chase in town.
There's a new Chase in town.
And ironically enough, my son Jack looked at that entry list and said, Chase Briscoe. And I almost said to him, no. Actually, I did say to him, no.
Yeah, you did say
I
no
go,
at
no. And then he's like, well, maybe Christopher Bell. And I said, well, you know what? If you want Chase Briscoe, go for it. Because I figured, he's got to learn.
Yeah.
Man, he learned me something.
Yeah.
So let me run it down quick because we got a lot to get to and a short time to get to it.
We do. We got a lot to get to and a lot to get going with.
Right. Okay. Chase Briscoe, he won, drove his way into the playoffs. Kyle Busch was second. This guy is always a bridesmaid, never a bride. But Christopher Bell was third. Kyle Larson fourth. Ross Chastain fifth. Not enough to get him in. Chris Buescher sixth. Not enough to get him in. Denny Hamlin was seventh. Joey Logano was eighth. Corey LaJoie was ninth. And Tyler Reddick was 10th. So
sick Tyler Reddick.
Blech. So we can go over that first. Yeah. Let's go over how Tyler Reddick was played his own version of the flu game. Right. For anybody who follows basketball, remember Michael Jordan played the a playoff game with the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
90s, late 90s.
Yeah.
And he had food poisoning or whatever.
Yep.
Maybe he had the flu, but he said he had food poisoning and he still played through that game.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what his driver, Tyler Reddick, had to do. Apparently, Reddick's son had a stomach bug the previous week and it came around to Reddick. And he said he was afraid. I was reading a little bit. He was afraid he was going to barf all over himself in the car. But,
it wouldn't have been all over himself. It would have been like all over his.
Okay, you know what?
You have a helmet on, so it's like
right. Okay, you know what?
It's like
so they gave him
Mama.
They gave him medicines in the car, and they were able to keep his stomach from, like either
tons
way,
of water or something.
Yeah, they probably gave him some Imodium too, because I think he had the other one too.
I think the first stop they couldn't get it through his helmet.
It fell out. They gave him pills and they fell out.
So the second time, then the next time he came in, they mixed it in this water bottle, so he got it in.
Yep. Yeah. And so he's like,
but what a hell of a racer to get through that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're exactly right. And he said they kept him intact and they avoided the bad stuff, but he was very uncomfortable all night. He said he was doing all he could. And you know what? In the end, he made it just in time by 1 point to become the regular season champ.
Oh, Mr. Larson, was it worth it when you screwed yourself on all those races
earlier in the season?
Earlier in the season,
right?
When first wasn't good, when fourth wasn't good enough, so you decided to wreck the whole field and yourself. Right. I can go through the races.
You do, you know it.
I'll bring it up, but you know what? We don't have time.
We don't have time for that.
I'm not gonna.
No, we're not gonna.
But I'm saying, okay, Kyle, was it worth it?
It wasn't. He lost by 1 point.
Yeah, there you go.
But you know what? And also, just to let you know, by the pit crew said to remind him of Michael Jordan. And so he did. So
that's awesome.
It was awesome. But you know what? Hell of a driver. I wouldn't even be able to get in a car with a stomach ache.
I wouldn't be able to look at it.
Exactly. Let alone any of that stuff.
I took a ride this past weekend and I was nauseous.
We did.
I was like Tyler Reddick and I wasn't even driving. Right. I was just like sitting there, road got a little bumpy.
Right.
Of course, I just had a tumor removed out of my stomach.
This is true.
Cancer.
Yes, that's true.
You're
recovering
myself.
still.
It just happened like 2 months ago.
Right.
But in the car, I was like, oh.
Right. You did good on the way up, but then the way back.
I did good.
We took some back roads.
Jack, let's take the back roads where there's like a bunch of
bumpity
crazy
bumps
people
and crazy
the bumpies
people. Yeah.
And there's nobody around. And we're going to stop at this lonely rest stop where there's like 300 people at this lonely little rest stop. It was like an A24 film.
It was, yeah. And then we went to the gas station and John's like, I'm going to sit in the car while you guys go in. See if they have a ginger ale. Of course they no ginger ale. They had Seagram's, which was, it's not, and they had no diet.
It's like you get at a wedding or a bar.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So
which is kind of cool when you're. True. But when you're nauseous, you kind of want Canada Dry.
Right.
There's nothing better.
No, that's the childhood.
That's childhood.
That's your childhood ginger ale. It's Canada Dry.
Absolutely.
I mean, we didn't have, because Seagram's was the bar ginger ale.
Right.
That was the chaser.
Right.
But Canada Dry was the stomach ache. You got something going on and it'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
So that's the race recap. Okay. Nothing. Okay. And here's the deal. Nothing really happened. What'd you say? Nothing happened until it happened.
Nothing happened until it happened.
It was so boring for the first how many laps? Except for when Martin Truex, where's your violin? Except for when Martin Truex Jr. got loose by kind of trying to bump draft off of William Byron. He got loose and came right up into Ryan Blaney. Blaney. So Truex and Blaney were out in like lap 3.
Yep.
So that was the only excitement. And then, and all they could talk about was Tyler Reddick's stomach. Yep. Like I literally thought he did throw up the way they were talking like at first. I think they said he threw up. And then it was like, wait, what? And it was like, no, he hasn't. Right.
They were trying to like.
It was drama. It was stomach drama the whole time.
Yeah. But I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
For a violin.
Yeah.
Martin Truex needs to send Chase Briscoe.
Yes.
A violin, because if Chase doesn't win that race,
right,
Martin is out.
That's true.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, think about it.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Week. So, because then it would have been Bubba and Bouchard, or would have been someone would have got it. One of those two would have got in.
Bouchard was the next in line, so he would have gotten in.
Yeah.
If Chase Briscoe didn't win.
Martin, I don't know if you have sent Chase anything.
Yeah, because when they're interviewing Martin after he comes out of the infield care center, the interviewer, well, now you're out of the playoffs. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, let's go. Okay, that's right.
And I'm looking like, first of all, why would you ask him how that makes him feel? I think I've gone over that kind of thing on the show before.
We've done that, yeah.
But second of all, how do you know he's out of the playoffs? Yeah. At that point, I'm thinking half of those people in front of him could completely DNF.
Yes.
So, and lo and behold, he's not out of the playoffs.
Wicked stupid question.
In. Okay, but
wicked stupid.
But I'm not going to be.
You should be down there.
I know.
You should be the one interviewing these guys.
I know. I wish I could, but then I'd be saying, so what was your relationship like with your dad? How were you when you were growing
It'd be too
up?
therapeutic. They'd start crying.
They would be.
People would be like, wow, these NASCAR drivers are wins.
I know. But, maybe it could be, I would love to be a therapist to the NASCAR drivers.
Yeah.
Come and find me.
Well, you got to maybe apply for 2311 or something.
Yeah, because they all need it. They're all going to need it.
Yeah.
Okay, I just kind of.
Anything else in the race?
Nothing.
You have written down?
Well, nothing. Okay. And then there was accidents galore. I mean, then there was piles of people. But you know what? I got to say, holy moly, Chase Briscoe was spot on all night.
He really was.
He was spot on all night. I mean, he was up there the whole night.
He earned it. Let's just put it that way. He did not get lucky.
No, he didn't. He didn't just cruise his way in there because two people. No, he fought hard.
Harrison.
You know what? Shush. Kyle Busch, though, you got to give him props because he worked hard too. He tried so hard. He almost could have gotten there. Maybe a few more laps. Yeah, maybe he would have.
More. I don't know.
But Chase's
did
car.
everything he could. Chase's car was just up there all night. Fast. But then when they interviewed him, he was like, because again, I think I mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
He was like, the car looks so smooth and so fast, but he said he was like steering for his life and sideways inside, and it looked like, so I was like, wow, you just think it looks so smooth, but man, he drove it.
Yeah. And he said he was crying the whole way around because you know what? Stuart Haas, that's it. They're over. That's the end. This is for all of the people who work there. He got into into the playoffs for them.
And his idol is Tony Stewart.
So
he got his number back in victory lane.
And the playoffs.
Before it ended. I mean, that's
pretty.
If that's story magic Disney ending without some type of agenda, I mean, it's true. Because Disney would have the agenda.
Would have the agenda. Yeah. So,
but that was just wonderful.
Yeah, it really was. And I will say, the one downfall I think is when Bubba Wallace, when they didn't bring him in for tires.
Yeah,
he stayed out on bad tires, dropped back, and that was the end. That was the end.
Yeah, that could have been a booty call.
It could have been a booty call.
Get it?
But you know what? Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's all right.
Bubba seemed mature in his interview.
He was actually very mature in his interview.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing that I'm going to kind of, I don't want to get too deep into it, okay? But the amount of vitriol and disgusting comments that are out there about Bubba Wallace makes me want to freaking punch somebody in the face.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I had a rough week
pretty rough.
because, everybody who didn't get in, NASCAR posted a little tribute to Chase Briscoe, something to Kyle Busch, and then one to Bubba, just talking about how, hey, they tried their hardest. And boy, everybody on Bubba Wallace says, well, Boucher didn't make it in either, and neither did Kyle Busch, but they have their agenda. They've got to talk about Bubba Wallace. And I said to everybody, I literally sat here copying and pasting. This article is about this driver. See how that works? They already did have an article about Kyle Busch and another one about Chris Boucher. Yeah. But nobody gets the hatred that he gets. And nobody, I know we say things, we make fun like Austin Dillon or like you, Kyle Larson or Bubba Wallace, but these people spew the most disgusting things. There was an article about how his wife, Amanda, who was pregnant, about to have, going to have a baby. And she's like, well, this one's just, really hurt. And in the comments, men saying things about her and about how you married a loser. Oh, wow. Your kid's going to have a loser for a I mean,
oh my God, are you
John,
serious?
I was violent. I didn't even hear all of that,
but I heard some of it.
Oh, and I went off. I called people. I'm like, well, you mental mastodons. It takes a little bit of brains to even understand. I went off on people. Wow. And I don't care. And I would do it to their face. I really would. Because like I said, we pick on.
We pick on everybody. We don't discriminate.
No. And
we pick on everybody.
Yeah. And you know what? And I don't want to call this out, but I'm going to just say it without saying it. But you know why? Yeah. Because they also had a few choice things to say about Michael Jordan too.
Really?
Believe it or not.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. As in, they share something in common, and that's what people. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You would not believe it, John. You wouldn't believe it. And of course, they also had a few things to say about Denny Hamlin too. But fine, that's fine. Denny Hamlin's a hothead. Yeah, he is what he is. That's great. Yep. Fine. But just it's sickened me to the core that these people, you call yourselves NASCAR fans, you're disgusting. Yeah. And and half of them, here's Bubba crying again because he lost. F you. Did you watch the race? He didn't cry afterward.
No, he didn't.
He took it in stride. Sad. He looked sad, and he's like,
sad, but he was like,
like, we're gonna go out there and we'll get it. Yeah. We'll get him. Whatever. Yeah.
And speaking of taking it like really well, how about Ross Chastain?
Yeah.
In his interview,
right?
He was like, I'm taking it in.
Yeah.
He was not, blaming something. He was just like, I got to see what it's like to lose. Mature. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to move that into next year. I mean, gosh.
So that's all I want to say. I know I went off. Okay. And you know what? Maybe some of you that listen to me are actually people that commented on that. Yeah. And you know what? You better think twice about yourself. Yeah. You better look in the mirror.
This isn't wrestling.
It's
these guys aren't like doing like they want you to hate them like on purpose, except for Denny. Right. But they're not doing it on purpose to like make you hate them or you should hate them. I mean, it's like
they're like all the announcers talked about all night was Bubba Wallace. No, they talked about Chris Boucher and Bubba Wallace.
They talked about everybody who was on the bubble.
And all I heard about was Tyler Reddick's stomach. Okay. You know what? So
Tyler Reddick's stomach.
Watch
grease.
the race and see what they really talked about.
And then towards the end, they had all four screens on like all four drivers. Right. And they're like, we don't know which one to talk about.
And Ross Chastain.
Yeah. And Ross Chastain. Right. They had them all over. It was just such an exciting.
Right. Because that's where that's where the action is. That's where the action is. Yeah. A-holes. That's why they're talking about it.
They're not going to talk about like Austin Dillon. Right. They're not going to talk about anybody
they're
else.
Not. Right. And they're really.
Right. Kyle Busch is like right in second. Are you kidding me? Racing to get in.
I know. And you know what, folks? I'm sorry. I'm getting you, but you know what? I'm an empath. You know what that means? That means I feel things a lot. Okay. Let's say, let me tell you something. When they started talking about Tyler Reddick having a stomach ailment, it triggered my IBS. I felt so sick for him. I literally felt ill because he was ill. Yeah, I watched freaking the Garfield movie and I'm crying hysterically because Garfield's dad had to leave him to go find something to eat and Garfield thought he left him.
Don't make me cry.
I know. I literally, and that's why I'm I don't like to see anybody treated that way.
I know.
Nobody.
No.
And I can't stand it. It's sports, man.
You know, enjoy it.
Just have a good time. Who gives you time? Come on,
You're
man.
alive. You're alive. Have a good time.
Right. So, that's it. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Okay. I'm off my soapbox. Yep. But I just want you all to know I'm a kind person. Yeah. I mean, you might not think, people might not think I am. Like my family probably thinks, oh yeah, we've seen her. But I really am. I am. I do have a caring soul. I really
Yes.
do. My
Yes, you
heart
do.
goes out to people
Yep.
all the time. I'm always voting for the underdog. I'm always
Yep.
on the wrong side of the playoffs because I'm like, oh, this is the underdog. I want them to win. And of
Yeah, I
course they
know.
don't.
And in football,
Especially in football
always going for the underdog.
and in
like,
baseball and in March Madness. That's always
Yeah.
me. If I don't have my favorite team out there, I'm going for, and then I'm like, crying when people, I was crying with Chase Briscoe.
Yeah.
Remember?
you
I'm
were.
like,
Yeah, you were.
So that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
She's not lying.
I'm not lying.
She's not lying.
Hand to God.
Hand to God.
All right. So let's
Hand on the bibble.
hand on the bibble. Okay, so
All right.
that's it. CookOut Southern 500 done.
That's it.
Okay, we're gonna
It's in the rear view.
we're going to some NASCAR news.
Okay,
a
let's
little
go to
bit
NASCAR
of
news.
stuff.
You
Okay.
got it. Okay, cool.
Here is the NASCAR news.
Okay.
Apparently, Joe Gibbs Racing, JGR, announced that they are going to partner with the CW is getting Xfinity next year. For those
Yeah.
who didn't know, they're actually going to get all the playoff games on the CW for the Xfinity this year. And
Does that start this weekend? I think it's this weekend.
I'm not sure. Their playoffs are a little different.
Oh, they're like a week behind.
I think they're a week behind.
So maybe they're racing for the playoffs. This is their last week.
Right. Yes, I think
Right,
so.
that's
I
what
think
it
it's
is. I'm
next
sorry.
week. No,
Yeah.
that's okay. So they're going to, Joe Gibbs is going to partner with the CW to promote the Xfinity.
Great.
And they're going to have Sheldon Creed and Ty Gibbs, because Sheldon Creed's from Xfinity and Ty Gibbs is from the Cup. And they're going to, do all this fun stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And you know what I was looking at? All right, next year I'm getting into the Xfinity more. Just
Okay.
as a warning, y'all. I don't know what it's going to do for the show. I might not even mention it on the show, or I might throw one little.
Or a quick
here's the
segment or
Xfinity
something.
corner.
Yeah.
But Sheldon Creed, the Toyotas are Supras in the Xfinity. And man, that's a hot car. I mean, Camry is a Camry, but a Toyota Supra, man, you are
In
kicking
the 80s?
butt.
Remember the Supra in the
yes,
80s?
my friend Kent had a Supra, and he
Yeah.
loved it, and he still talks about it
My friend Mark,
to this day.
who I bought the
Oh.
Corolla off of. It was an 83 Corolla.
Oh my God.
I'm not dating myself.
I remember that car.
Remember that car?
Yeah.
Had an Alpine
Yep.
system and the kicker.
I remember it. That's how long we've
Okay.
known each other.
Yeah. So that was and so it was not that I was in 83, but that was an 83.
No, it was like
car.
90.
But his sister, the reason he sold me that
Yeah,
car,
yeah.
because he was buying his sister's car, which was a Supra. And he took me for a ride.
Oh,
And man, you could take a corner in
yeah.
a Supra
Oh, yeah.
and not even feel it. You'd
No.
be like cruising around. I was like, what? And we took this turn. I thought we were going to go over the road or cliff, wherever we were. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
it took it. And like, not like my Corolla, but
No.
but yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's hot
Supras
car.
are cool.
Hot car.
Hot
So I'm
car.
excited about that because I like
Yeah.
Sheldon Creed. I really do.
Yeah.
I like him. And you know what? You know what we noticed? What did I notice about Ty Gibbs? Oh, how you doing? How you doing? Well, I did my best.
I can't believe his voice is this high.
Yeah, really.
But it really
I
is.
can't believe he's such a baby.
He really is.
I love him.
Yeah.
He's a cutie. I said, my mom was watching. She's like, "There's your son," because I think I made a joke that time that he's young enough
I
to be
love
my
his
son.
voice, though.
But I know.
I love that. It's
I
like,
know.
hey, man.
Hey man, how you doing?
I wish my voice was this high.
I know. Me too.
I'm like, hey, man.
You're
I'm like,
you're not that low.
I'm like, yeah, on the weekends I fill in for the Oak Ridge Boys.
No.
I sing on the sing bass with the Oak Ridge Boys or the
That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so
What else?
Martin Truex Jr. made a little revelation during on a NASCAR radio show that he is he's going to be in the Daytona 500, working on the ride, and
Okay.
his crew chief is going to be Cole Pearn. Oh, it's actually Cole Pearn.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody says Pearn. It's Pearn, but still.
Pearn.
So they're piecing it together.
Pearn.
Yeah. So
Sounds like a car going by.
but it's
Cole. Right.
because don't forget that Denny Hamlin offered him a ride like as soon as he announced his retirement. He's like, you've got a Daytona 500 ride with 2311. So
Good for
they're
Martin.
just piecing it
That's gonna be
together.
fun to see him.
Yep, piecing it together, and him and Cole Pearn. And I'm not kidding you. I'm that's a combination.
I might
That was
pick him.
magic. That was a magical
Can I
combination.
think who I pick right now
Yeah,
for Daytona?
yeah. Martin Truex Jr.
Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah. That was like Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus.
Yeah.
Martin Truex Jr. and
Yeah.
Cole Pearn.
There's magical pairs,
I know.
just like Kyle Busch and who's Bell? It's Bell's. Daniels.
Cliff Daniels.
Cliff Daniels.
Yeah.
There were certain
I know.
combinations that
I know.
Like Denny and speaking of Denny.
Yes.
Denny and Gabe.
Let's speak of Denny and Gabe.
Can I speak of him for 1 second?
Please do.
I just read that Kevin Harvick made his championship prediction on his podcast.
Do you think Denny?
He said Denny. He says he thinks Denny in the end is going to win the championship.
I'm not sure.
He's been not doing that great.
Right. He hasn't. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe, though.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible he could. I mean, he's got it in. It's so hard.
It is.
It's so hard. And Atlanta is coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
In the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
And who is going to get bumped out first?
You can make that easy prediction.
Okay. We don't know exactly.
Let's call it. No, let's not call it. We'll do it at the end.
Okay. You know what?
Well, let's
just say I do believe that Martin Truex Jr. is going to keep going. I don't think he's going. I think he'll make it to the round of 12.
He ain't going out like that.
And honestly,
he ain't going out like that.
He ain't going out. Okay. And honestly, I think that Chase Briscoe is going to keep going too. I don't think that's a trend.
Yeah.
I don't think that's no.
You better watch Chase next year too, especially when he goes to Gibbs.
Watch it. He's going to Gibbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to be a stud.
Right. But as for Harrison Burton, God bless the boy, I'm not sure.
No.
Not sure. And as for
Harrison
Alex Bowman,
oh my gosh.
I don't know.
He should have been kicked out by default. Just by he's been terrible.
Oh, you're terrible.
I know.
You can't say that.
I'm terrible.
You are terrible.
I know.
Okay, so of the four that are below the bubble, or they're on the bubble, Chase Briscoe, Harrison Burton, Ty Gibbs, and Martin Truex Jr. I think that Harrison Burton, it might get the axe. And Alex Bowman, but I don't know from there. I don't know. I gotta say, give it a couple more races.
Your first two, of course. Yeah, it's gonna.
Those are the first two. Of course, it's gonna be four. Every three races, we eliminate four. The playoffs go as such.
Yeah.
Round of 16, 3 races, we eliminate 4.
Yeah.
The round of 12, 3 races, we eliminate 4.
Yeah.
And so round of 8, we eliminate 4, and then you've got your 4 for the finale in Phoenix.
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to depend a lot on what happens in Atlanta, and you'll see that when I make my picks.
And Atlanta can be a poop show.
It can be a poop show, and you'll see that when I make my picks. You'll see what, you'll see what I think, because a couple of these guys that I thought might be out soon actually do pretty good in Atlanta, so I'm not sure.
Martin does good in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
On the older track, he did.
Yes. Well, I think he still will.
He's still good? Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Okay, I promise.
Any other news?
No other news. I
got to keep you on track.
Okay, I just want to tell everybody, make sure that you go to the bottom of this list right now on YouTube and you make your prediction for the Watkins Glen race.
Ooh.
That's the weekend after this. That's
Chase Elliott.
My son's birthday week. I have not done picks for that yet, but
no, I know. But Chase is a good.
Chase Elliott. That's a good. Good.
Someone to think about.
Yeah. That is September.
Someone to think about.
That is the Go Bowling at the Glen on Sunday, September 15th.
Yep.
Also a USA vehicle.
Yeah, they have to dodge bowling balls at the Watkins Glen. The fans get to throw bowling balls at the cars as they go by, and you got to try to dodge it. That'd make the race more interesting.
Shut up. Okay, so that's going to wrap that up, and we're going to go on to everybody else's Who Do You Like and Why, which I got a lot this week. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Okay.
I know. Keep picking, guys. Go on my Facebook. I promise I'll try to do better. All right. Okay.
You are.
All right.
You will.
All right. Who do you like and why?
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Who do you like and why?
Who do you like and why?
Love it. Okay, first of all, we're going with Timothy J. White, who picked on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
Yep. He is picking Chase Elliott to win in his home state of Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks that Elliott, is extra motivated to win at his home track.
Yes.
He's not wrong. Okay, Jeff Dickey on Facebook.
Okay.
Says he's going out on a limb with Kyle Busch.
Ooh.
I know, because he's been
rebound.
Yep, he's been so close lately.
Yeah, he's not going to hold back. He wants to win. He wants to keep his record going.
Sure does. Yes, exactly.
19 years or something?
Yeah.
Is on the line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now on YouTube, we got Rose, who says Tyler Reddick or William Byron.
Okay.
And because Tyler always has his eye on the prize, and Byron won it last year. Although I'm going to have to look that up, because I thought that Daniel Suarez won it last year.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. Okay. Maybe we're thinking this timeless.
Okay.
Now, Scott Curlis, he's got all the top drivers.
He'll give you a whole analysis.
He will. He really will.
Scott knows his stuff.
Scott knows his stuff, and he's got all this stuff on here, and I'm like, how does this guy know my picks? Mm-hmm. But no, I'm just kidding.
He's got you hacked. Your computer's hacked.
Yeah. He says he does have a wild card. He can't believe he's saying Harrison Burton for a top 10 finish.
Really?
I know, right?
Yeah.
But then also he's sticking with Ryan Blaney for the ultimate win in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yep. He says he also won't be shocked if Kyle Busch takes the checker flag. Everybody I believe in Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Everybody's
don't sing that song.
Oh,
That's been canceled.
Oh, is it canceled?
It's R. Kelly.
That's not fair.
He did bad things.
Yeah, I know, but songs can't be.
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
Canceled,
no, it probably is.
Yeah.
All right. But either way, so everybody believes in Kyle Busch this week, including myself.
I wouldn't mind seeing him win.
I know.
I wouldn't mind seeing him win.
Wait till you see my picks. I promise you, I make my picks. I didn't even look at this.
No, I know you don't.
Before
you
I
don't
make
get
my
this. We don't.
I don't look at anybody.
When we're getting ready to do our show, we go in and look at she's already done her homework.
Yep.
But we go in and we say, okay, we give it to the last minute to see if anybody got their submissions in. And,
right before the show. Yep.
And we just put them up.
Copy and paste them onto our show notes.
But good minds, hey, you know what they say?
That's it.
Good minds.
Good minds.
Think alike.
Think alike. And we love the NASCAR. We all love the NASCAR.
Yep.
And if you love the NASCAR, you know your stuff.
Yep.
Or you just have some fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to my picks now so we can merrily roll along. I'll tell you something. You guys want to hear something funny? It's 5:00 in the big city.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to record earlier in the day. And we waited till Wednesday this week.
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. So hopefully we'll get back on the Wednesday train.
Yeah.
Because I think that's way a couple things can come out, which they did.
Which they did.
Okay, so I'm going to go now to my NASCAR fantasy picks.
Okay. Your picks are coming up.
My picks are coming up. While fantasy sports betting can be fun, gambling can be a serious issue. If you or someone you know has a gambling addiction and wants help, call or text the National Problem Gambling Hotline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER. Standard text and data rates do apply. You can also visit them online at ncpgambling.org. Okay, here are my NASCAR fantasy picks for the Quaker State 400 available at Walmart at Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's really the name of the race. First up, obvious, Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney has the best record here at this track. He's got 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. And he usually comes in right near the top 10 anyway. And Ryan Blaney's the kind of driver that wants to get in, get a win, get it done, get out, and doesn't have to have that pressure. And I think that's gonna make him get it done on Sunday. Next up, Martin Truex Jr. Because you know what? The guy has had such lousy luck. You know he wants to turn it all around and secure his spot into the round of 12 so that he doesn't have to worry about wrecking out in the next couple of weeks either. So he hasn't won here before, but he has 6 top 5s and 13 top 10s. So you watch, the 19 is going to turn it around and start this playoff run with a win. And then last up, yeah, you know it, Kyle Busch. Pressure is off, man. He didn't make the playoffs, but he's still got to get that win for this year. So he's been getting better and better every week. I don't know what they've figured out over at Childress, but he's getting it going, and he's not going to end this season without a win. And he's really, really good in Atlanta. He's got 2 wins, 10 top 5s, and 14 top 10s. Count on Kyle Busch to have a really good run this week. My bold picks, Brad Keselowski. Now, this was one of Brad's best tracks for a long time. And I know the last couple of years have been, but I still believe in the number 6. And I won't sing the song because since that's canceled. So give Brad a consideration. He has 2 wins here, 5 top 5s and 11 top 10s. So don't be surprised if he comes sailing through at the end when all is said and done in Atlanta on Sunday. Next up, Chase Elliott. He's bold because I don't know how much confidence I have in him through this season. I'm pretty sure he's going to have a really good finish, but I'm a little gun shy because I thought that several times recently. But playoffs put everybody in a fresh new perspective. He has a win, 2 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and I think, again, this is his home state. So let's see Chase Elliott roll into the playoffs in Atlanta. Last but not least, Daniel Suarez. Yes, Last time they were here, he finished first. And the time before that, he finished second. And he's even had a couple of top 10s in the years before that. He's got a win, 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s. He's the only guy in the playoffs. So look to the number 99 for this week's sleeper pick. Last but not least, let me give you an honorable mention. You might not believe it. I toyed with putting this guy as a bold pick. I actually had him as a bold pick until I really dove into Daniel Suarez. Austin Cindric. Believe it or not, he doesn't have any wins here, but he has a couple of top 5s and 10s. And even when he's finished outside the top 10, it's not that far out, like a 12 or a 13. So it's possible that Austin Cindric could spoil it all for everybody and come out and sail into the round of 12. Let me give you a recap for the Quaker State 400 available at Walmart at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Brilliant picks are Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch. Bold picks are Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, and Daniel Suarez. An honorable mention goes to Austin Cindric. Those are my NASCAR Cup Series fantasy picks for the first round of the playoffs, and I'm sticking to them. Interact with Holly's Racing Fantasy on YouTube or Facebook. Just search Holly's Racing Fantasy on each to find us. And don't forget to tell us who you like and why every Wednesday before each race. You can comment on the current HRF episode on YouTube or reply to my Monday night post on Facebook. Thanks. Don't you love how Walmart has to throw themselves in there?
Yeah, I don't love Walmart.
Quaker State 400 available at Walmart.
At Walmart.
By the way, there was quite a bit of sexy booth talk this week.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
we would have got
moly.
an X rating.
We would have got, yeah. We looked at each other like 15 times, like even the female announcers are saying,
yeah.
And we were just like, what?
Yeah.
Are you listening?
Those are, now listen, we've had a rough year.
We have.
So, Cooter Mouse Jr. and Sexy Booth Guy, those skits have kind of taken a little bit of a backseat because of production time and elements and things.
Yes.
But they will return.
They will return.
They will make a return. If not this season, definitely next season.
Absolutely.
And we're probably going to return. We're going to make them come back as shorts. So they're not kind of like on our regular show.
That's true.
But you can go on and watch them and watch us have fun. And
that's true. That's a great idea.
I was thinking of that
This guy, he's always thinking.
I'm always thinking.
This guy is like
where do you think my son gets it from?
Oh, yeah. The mastermind.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we're going to do them as separate little skits and not weekly, but they'll be like, maybe we'll do like a whole month worth of Sexy Booth talk and
that'd be funny.
The fun that Cooter Mouse had.
Yeah.
So we're going to look into some really cool things.
We will.
We're
going
season.
to. We really are. As long as we're both alive, we're going to do it.
Hey, if we're both alive, the show will go on.
The show will go on.
And if you're not alive,
then the show will go on.
I'm going to have you stuffed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have you like Weekend at Bernie's. And I'll animate your mouth,
Yep, exactly.
And we could just do it that way. Or me too.
Or you. No, I can't do it without.
No, you'll have Jack on the show.
I can't do it without
Jack will be in here running the.
He'll do the technology,
and
right?
The technology,
but then I'll say, "What do you think?" Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, was it a good race? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we're both going to be here by the grace of God. We will both be alive and well.
Yes.
Don't forget to go down to the bottom of this video and give me your picks for Gold Bowling at the Glen.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out Facebook. And if you're interested in some fun puppeteering, my son now he's had a YouTube channel for 10 years?
Oh yeah.
Now he has a Facebook page, and it's called The Omblar Show.
Right.
That's OMBLAR Show. Mm-hmm. He's a puppeteer. Mm-hmm. And sometimes he has a little help with us dramatic.
Yeah, we do a lot.
The dramatic parents do a lot of help. So
we do a lot of, we're all the side puppets to the show and the voices.
Yeah, but it's a wicked fun show.
But we have a lot of fun.
We do have a lot of fun.
It's very unique.
It's really cool. It's not really for kids.
No.
But it's not like a total adult show.
Yeah, but it's like
somewhere
in between. Yeah.
So go on. You know what? Even if you don't watch it, can you just go to his Facebook page and just click?
You love it.
The Omblar Show.
Yeah.
And just like
there's like puppet fart jokes and stuff. And
there is.
I do a lot of that.
You do a lot of puppet farting.
I do a lot of puppet farts.
It is pretty funny though.
Yeah.
But it is. We have like songs we sing.
Yeah.
You know what?
We have karaoke.
How are we so broke? That's all I say to myself. How is we so broke when we got all this going on?
Yeah, we just haven't put it all together.
That's true. We will, yeah.
We will.
We're young enough.
We're young
I'm
enough.
young. I'm only 65.
I'm only 65. I can get another job.
Exactly.
Clarence. Holly, where'd you put that money?
I don't know. I've looked everywhere.
You stupid old fool. Don't you see what this means? Scandal?
Oh my God, I can't believe you knew that much of it.
I can't even.
I mean,
either.
I do, but
Yeah,
I didn't know you would too.
but yeah.
That's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Not just Christmas movie. I've watched that movie so many times.
And we have a frog that sounds like Jimmy
And we
Stewart.
do have a Jimmy Stewart frog.
He's blue and he's like, Mary.
Mary.
And you actually have a Mary.
And we have a Mary Louise puppet.
That works with the frog. So it's like, get it, Mary and...
Yeah, Mary and Blue Frog.
Mary and Blue Frog.
Yeah, my mom makes a lot of the puppets.
Blue Frog Stewart.
Yeah, we make puppets. We have some that we buy, but we make some too.
Yeah.
And it's very funny and cool.
Yeah.
Damn it. Broke ass. Okay. Anyway, okay, so you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you all it's September now.
Yep.
Now,
You really got to wipe your butt this time of
you
year.
really got to wipe
You
it.
can't get away with it.
You got to really wash your hands. And,
Yeah.
you really got to try to stay safe and healthy out there.
Yeah.
We're cruising into the winter.
Don't go walking in the stores and start
Don't go
itching your
walking
eyes.
Right.
Rubbing your eyes like I do.
Like, don't go into the doctor's office.
Like I'm at the waiting room and I'm just like rubbing
and John's
my
like
eyes.
rubbing his mouth. He's like, suddenly, why are you
I
rubbing
don't know
your
why.
lips?
I know.
What is happening? You're
I
in
know.
a doctor's.
I'm like licking the armchair of the chair. I'm like,
yeah, I don't know why I'm compelled.
yeah.
Yeah, hilarious.
I have no idea why.
Hilarious. All right, so you know what though,
All right.
we've taken up enough of your
Yes,
time.
we have.
But it's the
Thanks
first
for
show.
joining us,
Playoffs, right? This is the playoffs.
Yep.
And it's all a reset.
Yep.
Right now, Kyle Larson sits at the top of the playoff grid.
Mm-hmm.
So Larson, Bell, Reddick, and Byron.
Okay.
Blaney, Hamlin, Elliott, and Brad. Logano, Cindric, Suarez, and Bowman. And I already told you the bottom four. So that's where we are right now.
Let's watch and we'll have the ticker going too.
We're going to have the ticker going. Oh, yeah, we got the ticker. I forgot about that. I'm itching my eyes. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, see, there you go. There you go.
There you go. Okay, so, all right, everybody,
All right.
have a great week. Have a wonderful time. Don't forget to make your picks. We'll see you next week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and race on.
Race on.